Tommy Robinson is one of Britain's most polarizing figures, and his recent interview with an alleged Islamic grooming gang member has sparked chaos online.
Speak to me, buddy. You're in court for raping kids.
We're diving deep into the hidden crisis plaguing England, grooming gangs, government cover-ups, and the systematic silencing of anyone who dares speak out.
Or better known as the EDL.
There is no problem with West Indian youth. There is no problem with Sikh youth. The problem is with Islamic integration.
Now, the EDL was a counter-organisation to what they saw as the threat posed by Islamist extremism in their hometown, and it grew very, very rapidly across the UK, setting up branches and often attracting thousands to its marches.
Hey, knock us on the heads. There is no such thing in this country as a Muslim area.
He left in October 2013, saying that he'd suddenly become concerned about the threat of far-right violence in the UK.
Instead of being part of the solution, it may become part.
Tommy has risen to speak against the issue arising from the movement from 1 mosque to 45, and the countless rap cases that have come with it.
For an American audience who may not know all the dynamics at work here, could you break down real quick why so many native Brits like yourself are so frustrated with what's happening in your country, and how the face of the UK has changed so dramatically over the past 2 decades?
Our borders have been open to mass immigration. I'm from a town that's 30 miles north of London. When I was born in 1982, there was 1 mosque, there's now 45. We've seen Islamic rape gangs operate with impunity, no arrests, for 30 years. 1,000 children raped, 5 killed in the small town of Telford. 1,400 girls raped in the small town of Rotherham. Across the entire country, we formed an organisation to talk about this. As Englishmen, we come out on the streets screaming for help because literally the police were standing by and allowing it. This is going to sound so unbelievable, but we started in 2009. By 2014, there was a government report done. That government report that found in Rotherham.
The disturbing statistics behind decades of ignored crimes, and why he spent years in prison for making documentary films.
Has been jailed for 18 months. The 41-year-old activist appeared at South London's Woolwich Crown Court on Monday after failing to appear at a previous contempt hearing for repeating false allegations against a Syrian refugee. Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, handed himself in to police in Folkestone, Kent, on Friday. Speaking during sentencing, the judge warned supporters in the courtroom to remain silent as he read out his closing remarks, labelling Robinson's actions a blatant breach of libel restrictions. He told Robinson that nobody is above the law. A non-custodial sentence cannot be justified, confirmed the judge, before handing down the 18-month sentence. Robinson's comments came despite a 2021 High Court order being in place, banning the activist from repeating the allegations against the refugee who sued him. Police confirmed he'd been arrested on 1 count of failing to provide the PIN to his mobile phone under Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000. However, the appearance on Monday came in relation to a separate warrant issued by a High Court judge earlier this year. Appearing in the dock, Robinson wore a grey suit and waistcoat with no tie after being remanded in custody on Friday. The judge informed Robinson that he would receive a 10% reduction for his guilty plea before handing him the maximum 2-year sentence. It means Robinson will now be sentenced to 18 months in prison. Asked by the judge whether he accepted he had committed the breaches, Robinson nodded and replied, yes.
From solitary confinement to death threats, from being banned by big tech to planning massive demonstrations, Tommy reveals what it's really like to fight an establishment that would rather protect its policies than its people.
In Oxford, in all these different cities, that the police were fully aware that young girls were being prostituted, pimped and tortured in these cities, but they didn't want to make arrests because they were scared of being called racist.
These are Muslim gangs, Tommy. These are Muslim grooming gangs.
Muslim rape gangs, they use a pretty word like grooming. In India, they call it love jihad. In Holland, they call it lover boys. We're talking about rape jihad. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about groups of men who target young girls. Some of the crimes, so people understand the demographics of the UK, 5 to 6% is Muslim. 90% of the convictions of these gangs in the UK are Muslim men. 30% are called Mohammed. Why? Why aren't the Sikhs raping like that? Why aren't the Hindus raping like that? No, they're not doing it. In fact, the Sikhs and Hindus are victims of these gangs as well. So these Muslim gangs, it's like an invading army has come into our country, raped its way through it with the full acceptance by our authorities. They've done nothing. Every institution that is there to protect children totally failed. And when we come out as English men trying to talk about it, we're deemed as racist and far right. So what you've seen blow up this week in the UK is a catalogue of things where they have continually tried to hide problems, push them under the...
Tommy has for years accused the legacy media of having been working in cahoots with the cover-ups of rape gangs, the corrupt judiciary establishments who, according to him, has done everything to protect the Muslim rapist every step of the way.
Breeds frustration. We've seen the police inability to deal with rapists, to deal with terrorists. We have 40,000 British Muslims on a terror watch list. 4 times as many British Muslims went to join and fight for ISIS than have ever joined the British military. We have a huge problem and you're not allowed to talk about it. You try and talk about it, Christians are under attack, Sikhs are under attack, Hindus are under attack, and yet when they're under attack, our government pander every time. They pander to the violence, they pander to the mob rule. We're fed up, close the borders. We want protection for our daughters, we want protection for our women.
He claims that the BBC Asian network gave the name of a rape gang victim on air to the Muslims, even though reporting restrictions were in place, putting the victim and her whole family in danger, forcing them to flee, and the worst part was that Muslim DJ who did it wasn't even charged, and this has been the case for many victims with similar stories on his show.
The victim who's experienced the horrific crimes committed against them shows amazing courage. Some of you may have seen, we have a victim here today who's been victim to these predators and these gangs. Her name's Amy. She's going to be brave enough to speak today. So it shows courage to go up against it. It's going to show...
Still doing today. The social services involved in the case when I was 11 to the age of 14, they didn't even have any training until last year. All these people, I did interviews, hours on end, and these people are still walking around today, heads held high, threatening my family with firearms. I mean, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, and I'm here today because I'm a strong survivor, and I believe no matter how many people come to my house and torture my family, we all stand strong, and we will stand strong until we get...
Victims have been held up in fear over the intense threats from rapist gangs, who have warned them not to speak up.
My father recently has moved out of the family home to try and protect the family. People have made the threats come 10 times worse. My family have contacted police, they don't come out. 5.5 hours for a firearm. I was lying in my bed at 2:20 in the morning, and 15 police officers come to my house, busting my door when they could have been going to my family's house. 15 people for firearms coming to my house for no reason, saying that they had a phone call that I was trapped in a house and I was going to kill myself. But they send 15 officers to my house, and something so serious with firearms and things like that, they don't take it seriously. They offer my mom an asthma warning, but they don't offer to move them out of the area. It is disgusting, vile. Police officers in Telford have been handed envelopes full of money for evidence to be dropped. Well, I am not allowing it any longer. These people need justice. Grooming young, vulnerable girls like myself. Even 12 years old, I went and I seen a girl in a freezer, dead. And they tell me if I spoke out, that would happen to me. And this is why I'm a strong survivor today with my own.
This has led Tommy Robinson to continuously expose the two-tier policing and judiciary system that has completely taken foot within the establishments of the UK, and although it has caused him to get locked up for 13 months for reporting restrictions which he has repeatedly tried to avoid still, he isn't about to give up exposing these Muslim child gang rapists, even hunting them down to ask them questions.
No, what are you here for? What are you here for? What are you here for?
I'm here to expose.
Well, expose them then. Expose them.
I am right now. I am right now. You're all being exposed.
Come on, Tommy. What do you want to know?
I want to know why Muslim men are raping young English kids.
Why are English men raping kids? I'll show you media. Come here.
So your daughters. Your daughters.
Go on, talk.
Innocent.
Hey, come on the media. Come on the media. Come on the media.
So you
talk about Muslims. You talk about Muslims. Did you get snapped up?
Who was?
Didn't you get snapped up by Muslims? Did a Muslim snap you up? Was that Muslim slap you up?
Come on, talk.
Did a Muslim slap you up?
Talk. Talk. Are you in court? Are you in court for raping English children?
Here we have the moment Tommy located a specific guy who he claims is an alleged pedophile. Tommy doesn't just seat in the sidelines, he confronts the monster directly and face to face, leaving him completely starstruck at the boldness of this unusual journalism. But it doesn't end there. We see Tommy pushing him harder to get answers.
You're here defending a pedophile.
I'm defending your dad.
You're here defending
I'm defending your dad.
You're being raped.
I'm a proud kid Muslim, mate. This is peaceful Islam.
Who snapped the camera?
He just snapped the camera.
I hope he's arrested, yeah?
Do nothing.
You're
I told you I've got a duty to protect you, but you're persistently entering into what is a volatile situation.
He's a journalist. He's a journalist.
Yeah, that's fine.
I even said we have.
Rapist. 2017, this year, the British justice system is fucked.
Yeah. Look, these are the girls that are defending the Muslim rape gangs. Are any young Muslim girls getting raped in the city?
By your dad, yeah. By your dad.
You're scum. You're defending you're defending child rapists. They're all getting convicted. They're all going to jail. I'm here to expose people like you, all of you.
Scenarios like these brings us back to the confession of many young girls who have been completely ignored by the government, but not Tommy, who has repeatedly created platforms for them to share their stories.
Intimidate my family much longer. I will get justice even if I have to do it with my own bare hands. I'm sick of it. I am sick to death of it. 4 years of my life was torn by these disgusting, they're not even humans, they are monsters. These people are monsters. All of them are connected, every last one of them. Let me tell you something, in 2013, on the 30th of September, I went for an abortion and they offered me £15,000 to keep a baby off a fucking monster. Sorry for swearing, but this is how I feel. This is how I feel, and today I have been given the chance to these monsters. These monsters. Social workers, they put behaviour contracts in place. They never stuck to it. My family were told to lock me in rooms to keep me safe. They would take me upstairs, flats that I'd never known. Well, I hope everybody in Telford and the people here today see this, and other people come forward. We was never allowed to talk to each other. Never. We said hello and goodbye. Well, I tell you now, this might have messed up my family mentally, but we will emotionally come through this. We are stronger than these people think, and we will pull together as one. My dad spoke to Danny, in a video, and it's all broadcasted on YouTube, and he can tell you in more detail than I can because I'm very emotional. But if you watch that video, you will see it, that it's emotionally and mentally drained the family. It has torn our family apart now to the extent that my family are split. My family are split. My dad's gone, my mom and my brothers are there, my sister and her little boy. We need help get them out in the best possible way possible. These people have now gone searching places. Only yesterday, 10 people went searching for my uncle in a place that he goes the most.
These revelations have sparked widespread outrage. Citizens are demanding answers from the police and government officials.
But his friend was. And this makes me think that they're coming sooner than we think. So, in the next couple of days, these people will come to justice, and it will come to light that we will not give up. We will not give up, and we will fight until these people are brought to justice, whether it's with Danny. Danny's tried his best. I've been sat on the phone at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, stressing about my family. I can't sleep at night because I'm not with them. I try my best. I call Danny 100 times a day, you know, and there's nothing anyone can do anymore, but our Telford police are corrupt. Social workers are corrupt. A 12-week programme took 44 weeks to complete. These people, social workers, they were supposed to protect me to safety. My partner, they didn't know at the time, and they let me abscond to London when I was 16. No one knew this guy, they'd never met him before, and they let me go to London when I was 16. All they said to me was, call us on the other end. These social workers, police, Kate workers of Telford are corrupt.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Asian!
How could senior officers responsible for upholding justice appear in photographs with individuals implicated in such heinous acts? The public wants to know whether these photos are innocent coincidences or evidence of something far more sinister.
It was not exclusively focused on the rape gangs. It only looked at a small handful of areas. It didn't treat this as what it is, which is a national, systemic scandal which needs tougher recommendations than what the J report delivered.
Critics argue that this situation underscores systemic failures within law enforcement. If these allegations are true, they reveal a deeply troubling culture of corruption, where the very institutions meant to protect children may be enabling their exploitation. Robinson claims that this is not just a matter of oversight but deliberate complicity. He alleges that law enforcement's focus on promoting diversity in public relations has taken precedence over addressing serious criminal activities. Photographs with community leaders may be part of efforts to foster inclusivity, but when those leaders are accused of criminal activities, it raises serious ethical concerns.
Today, could you outline to my viewers and listeners what she accused you of specifically, please, Fiona?
So in my resignation letter, I made public about the attempts to widen the scope and also how the inquiry would be conducted, extending it from localities to regions. She said that them claims were categorically untrue, even though she was aware of them because of personal text I'd sent to her outlining what we were being asked, and her response back to me was that she knew that the question was being asked and that she couldn't make the decision without it being consulted on. So she called me a liar while she knew.
At the heart of this controversy are the survivors of child sexual exploitation. Their voices have often been overlooked in discussions about systemic failures and institutional reform. Many survivors have called for more robust measures to address these crimes, including greater support for victims and harsher penalties for perpetrators. The revelations about potential links between law enforcement and criminal networks have only deepened their distrust in the system. For survivors, these allegations are a painful reminder of the failures that allowed their abuse to occur in the first place.
Who I've been speaking to this week who say they are demanding that public inquiry. Some survivors, particularly in Oldham, have not backed the call on a national level, but instead want a government-led inquiry specifically into Oldham. But generally speaking, Patrick, as you've seen in that poll, there is a widespread demand for that call for a national inquiry among the public. But
the allegations raised by Robinson have far-reaching implications. They cast a shadow over the credibility of law enforcement and raise questions about the effectiveness of current measures to combat child exploitation. If senior officers are indeed complicit, it suggests a need for a complete overhaul of the system.
We passed yesterday does. Children are safer today because we passed that bill. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't have an inquiry, but children are now safer because we passed that legislation.
Just to bring you in on this, do you think there should be a specific inquiry into Pakistani grooming gangs across the UK?
I think there should be a specific inquiry into all grooming gangs.
Moreover, these revelations highlight the challenges of addressing grooming gangs and other forms of organized crime. Tackling these issues requires not only better enforcement but also a commitment to rooting out corruption and rebuilding public trust.